All right, so I'm gonna give you an example on how to build attention with a real dog. On this one, I'm gonna bring out Violet the Beagle. She's 2.5 and she hasn't had any formal training before. So the 3 things I'm gonna reward for is eye contact, her coming up to me, and then also when she relieves leash pressure. Because I'm gonna put her on a leash, she's probably gonna run around everywhere. And if she hits the end of the leash and she comes back, then I'm gonna pair that with a reward. So I'm gonna go grab her right now and then we're gonna do everything real time. All right, so as you can tell, she's really energetic. She's like a puppy because she hasn't been taught how to pay attention, so she's just more focused on everything else. So I'm gonna help her a little bit with movement. If she comes up to me, or say she comes back from the leash, so she's sniffing around, I'm gonna help her a little bit with movement. I'm just moving. A little bit of leash pressure. Good girl. And she's off again, which is okay because she's a beginner. Good girl. It's much easier to train the dog once you have their attention, so that's why I'm always gonna do attention first before worrying about any commands. I'm not even saying anything to her. Good girl. And she's off again. So that one she blew past me, so that's why I didn't give her anything. Good girl. Good girl. And if you're wondering why the leash part matters, this is how you kind of start getting the dog to learn to follow the leash when it comes down to your leash walking in the future. Good girl. Basically, the way that I do it is once you feel pressure from the leash, I want you to change something. So for her, it's just follow in the direction of the pressure. Later on, you could make it like a sit or a down or whatever you want. Good girl. Good girl. So since she has a lot of overexcitement, I'm not going to reward for the jumping if she approaches me and is jumping all over me. I only want calm with all 4 feet on the ground. Good girl. But see how I didn't give her a single command or anything? All I was doing was just moving around, letting her make the decision, and then she's calming down on her own. Good girl. Good girl. And then now I'm not helping her as much. Instead of me walking around now, I'm just standing still here. But don't worry if your dog still like needs more help, you can help them however you need to. It's just once you feel like they're calming down, you could take away some of the help where I'm just standing here now. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. And while she's out here, I'm actually not going to work on any commands at all. This is just a pure engagement session only. All I'm doing is just working on her focus because she's scatterbrained. Good girl. Good girl. So she's staring at my hand, so I want to not show her that picture anymore because I don't want her to look here, I want her to look at my face. So I'm going to stand very neutral, hands at the side. Once she looks at my face, then I will grab the food. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So I don't know how long the video's been for, or let me just look at it real quick. So it's been 5 minutes for her to just like calm down and just stay focused on me. Right now she got distracted because I was moving, but as you can see, she went from like running around everywhere and then she just went to just sitting and staring at me. So it doesn't take long to warm up your dog. The thing you want to watch out for is don't do it too long. You want them to stay focused the whole time and then cut them off and end the session before they start tuning out, because they will start losing focus and start like doing random stuff that you don't want, and you don't want them to ever like have that opportunity or habit to even start. Good. Good girl. So the next time I bring her out, I'm probably gonna add like a release word, whether that's like break or okay, where the only thing different is when she still gives me one of those 3 choices, either the eye contact, the approaching, or relieving the leash pressure, instead of me just handing her the food, later on in the future, I'll say the release word, run away from her, so she knows like that's her release command, and we'll introduce it like that. So on that, still no commands, it's just one word is going to be for rewarding in place, and one's gonna be come get the reward from me. Good girl. So she saw me pull the food out of my hand, that's why she's looking at it. So I'm gonna help her a little bit, I'm gonna just take a step closer to her. Oh, nope, she's, whoa, how'd you do that? Ballerina. Good girl. And then since I'm nearing the end, I'm just giving her like small handfuls instead of single food now. So she ends like on a good note. Good girl.